It appears the idea of an inland rail link between Brisbane and Melbourne may be about to become a reality. The ABC understands there'll be a $1 billion allocation for the project in next month's federal budget.
It's 100 years since there's been an Australian railway dream as big as this one. That was the Trans-Australian Railway linking the east with the west. Now the federal government wants to build another one called Inland Rail.
Delivering benefits for our kids and grandkids for the next 100 years. This is the biggest rail project Australia's undertaken in 100 years.
The direct line between Brisbane and Melbourne would transport goods like grain, fertiliser and chemicals between the two cities in less than 24 hours, much quicker than now.
The coastal route has to wind in and around the coastline and it's very slow.
Ken Keith is a farmer and a local mayor. He says Inland Rail would save farmers money and potentially lives on the road.
There's a truck every minute going through parks at the moment, and if it doubles by 2030 like they're suggesting, it'll be a truck every 30 seconds.
There's a long way to go. Old tracks in Victoria need upgrading and new track is required in New South Wales and Queensland. It'd cost more than $10 billion, but the government says it'd deliver thousands of new jobs.
If every time the government mentioned inland rail, a sleeper had been laid, it would have been completed by now.
But now the government's talking big.
We can expect work to begin on construction in the second half of this year.
That's got industry excited. The ABC understands the government will allocate more than $1 billion to Inland Rail in the May budget. It's still deciding on a final figure. Analysts are warning the coalition not to rush the project.
We have to be realistic that it's not all about fancy accounting tricks and fancy footwork. Ultimately, the federal taxpayer will be on the hook for some billions of dollars to make it real.
Decades of lobbying by farmers and freight companies could soon pay off. Lucy Barber, ABC News, Canberra.